Thank you very much, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Even though I can't see, yeah, there is a lady in the audience. Anyway, thank you for showing up here. My name is Henk van Alphen. I'm the CEO of Wealth Minerals, and we are in the lithium space in Chile. Forward-looking cautionary information, which we won't look at. I was thinking about this yesterday, actually, our highly experienced management team. Interestingly enough, the team actually has been the same team ever since we started this company, which is, I guess, in a sense, a little bit unique. I mean, we've been in the lithium space in Chile now for about 6 years, and we have the same people involved with us in the last 6 years. So, as a junior, I think maybe that says something, maybe about how wonderful the company is, but maybe as well as how wonderful the prospects are. I've been involved in the mining business, or let's say mainly exploration business, for longer than I can remember, since I just celebrated my 70th birthday, actually, so that shows you how old I am. So I've been in this business a long time, and I've done quite a few projects in my life, and some of them have been actually quite successful. But I think Wealth has sort of assets under its control that are much bigger than I've ever seen in my past. The person that is really my partner that I do things with in Chile is Marcelo Awad. Used to be the ex-CEO of Antofagasta Minerals, and he's a very high profile kind of individual in Chile, and for that reason we are actually a very high profile company in Chile. So the rest of the people have been with me for a long time, so I won't go into that. The directors is actually Stefan Schaus is in the audience, I think, here. So he's here with me. The other person on the advisory board, there's a gentleman called Jürgen Geisinger. He's kind of an automobile individual. And that has something to do with what the future hopefully looks like for Wealth. Lithium, automobiles, maybe you get the picture a little bit in where this company hopefully will go. I don't think we need to talk about the lithium industry in terms of the demand, future demand, because I think everybody will realize that there will be more cars manufactured than I think there will be lithium produced. Lithium is trading at around $80,000 a ton today, so it's a relatively high margin commodity, let's say. It's almost like I was either going into the illegal drug business in Colombia or in the lithium business in Chile. So we've seen quite a few deals done in the lithium space, mainly in Argentina, and I will maybe explain as to why that is for our purposes. We have 2 projects in Chile. We actually have 3 projects in Chile, but we're actually only advertised 2 of them so far. The third will actually show up in the next few weeks to come. But our main project is the Atacama Salar. The Atacama Salar is probably the tier 1 project in the world. There's quite a bit of production coming out of the Atacama Salar. It's the 3rd largest salar in the world. It's the highest grade in terms of lithium. So we were kind of fortunate to get ourselves into that salar, and we own about 46,000 hectares there. Obviously, it's been slow moving there, but it is an asset that will be eventually worth billions and billions of dollars to us. The second project we have is Ollagüe, which is actually the project where we're actually moving forward. We have just finished the drill campaign, and hopefully we'll come out with a PEA fairly shortly. The Atacama Salar, as you can see here, the pinkish area is sort of the deep-seated lithium brine anomaly that sits there. So you can see this on the next slide. Actually, you can kind of see how this works. This is sort of the narrow band that runs along, and this is where most of the production in Salar actually has come from. as SQM is now pumping from lower down, but most of the last 30 years of production actually has come from that little sliver that sits there. And then the deep-seated brine is where they're pumping from now. So in terms of resources, nobody kind of knows how much resources we'll have there, but we'll have an unending amounts of lithium coming out of the salar. It's very high grade. As I said, it's the highest grade salar in the world. It's about 1,800 milligrams per liter. The size of our claims, this is when we make a presentation in the United States. It's 7.8 times Manhattan. So you could see we have a fairly large area, and the depth of the brine is 3.7 times the Freedom Tower. So you can see that this is a rather large reservoir. The first place where we actually have moved forward is in Uruguay. We have about 8,000 hectares. We just finished the drill program, as I said. And mainly the reason why we actually moved into Uruguay is in Chile with the new regime in place, one of the things that they insist on is that we will have a deal with the local community. And we have done a deal with the Uruguay indigenous, and they're very supportive of our project there. So hopefully this will lead us to a PEA, let's say, probably in the first quarter of next year. Here you see, as I said, we're very responsive towards the local population. We also will have told them that we will not do solar evaporation, which is something that is not going to be allowed in Chile in the future anyway. So it's not like we even have a choice there, but we certainly are looking for new technologies. And in that sense, we have done a deal with ThyssenKrupp, the mining division of ThyssenKrupp, which has now been sold to FL Schmid. And they're the ones that are responsible for looking for a technology that is going to be the technology we'll be using for the direct lithium extraction. And our co-director here, Stefan Schaus, is responsible for that on our side. So he's working with the FL Schmid team in order to find the best technology for us to move forward. As you can see, geophysics here, it's a fairly porous system, rather large. So we'll come out with I would say with a sort of a project that will be 15 to 20,000 tons of lithium carbonate a year. But that's a bit of a forward-looking statement since we haven't come to that conclusion yet, but that's probably what it will look like. The interesting thing is since we're an exploration company, we always look for, we all do exploration, and we've always had this project in the Kootenays, and I never really talk about it very much because I do this on the side a little bit, but it's a VMS type of project, which is really in the mining industry very highly in demand, those kind of projects. So we were very lucky that we kind of slowly moved it forward. And last year we did an airborne geophysics survey there. And lo and behold, we got an anomaly that was between 6 to 10 kilometers long. So with some groundwork this summer, we actually found out that the anomaly sits on top of a massive sulfide. So this is like what in the exploration business, what dreams are really made of. You know, like this is how you become real famous in the industry, when you get lucky like this. This is like how Robert Friedland is suddenly a hero because he had a company called Diamond Fields, and then they stumbled on a nickel deposit, and he became a fabulously wealthy billionaire. So this is the kind of thing that happens when you keep on looking around, and I'm very happy that we actually got kind of fortunate on this project. We see this massive sulfides. This is actually where the anomaly sits. So it doesn't really get much better. Some of the zones are up to 20 meters thick. So this is potentially a fairly large VMS deposit. And on starting April, we'll do a 80 drill hole exploration program there So with any luck, my last name will be Friedland instead of Van Alphen. So, and I think this is our capital structure. We trade at around 25 to 30 cents. We should, with the PEA coming out in Chile, we should actually get a much better market capitalization than we have today. So anyway, that's the wealth story. Is that? Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much.
Henk, we have time for a question.
Yeah, so I have lots of time.
Any questions?
It was so clear, I guess.
Yeah, maybe I have a question.
Oh, good.
Some investors say Chile, we should be cautious. Yeah, but, the unions, the energy thing, the political changes. What do you think? Just give us a short answer.
Well, okay. Actually, the funny thing is that the last change in government, which has gone from a right-wing government to a left-wing government, is actually beneficial to Wealth Minerals in a very quirky way. So it kind of allows small companies to actually come into the country and move things forward. While in the previous government, they were more towards protecting SQM and Albemarle, let's say. So finally there is an opening there, as well as this government is very insistent on having a deal with the local community. So as long as you can do a deal with the local community, then the government is pretty much supporting you suddenly. So in that sense, it actually works in our favor. Yeah, but it is a left-wing government, so they always have grandiose ideas about how the world looks like. But anyway, it is allowing us to move forward.